Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. I am very happy to say I've reached 5,000 subscribers. For me, that is a very overwhelming amount. I never thought that I'd even have 1,000. So I'm very happy and very grateful to all of you who are now subscribed and those of you who are now watching. I see that there's many of you from the United States, I've seen New Mexico, California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey. I've seen Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, I think Kentucky, and I'm sure I'm missing some, and I'm sorry if I missed you. I know there's been some people from Alberta, Canada, from the UK, very excited about that, Germany, and also Australia, and New Zealand. So I'm very happy. Thank you all very much for having left your comments, and thank you for liking my videos. I want to thank you by continuing a little bit more on this 2017 Christmas by giving you 12 days of Christmas. I will be doing 12 days consecutive of little crafts and little tips for your Christmas and holiday decorating. I will cap it off with a short little video of my home as I decorate it for Christmas. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, this is day 9 of 12 days of Christmas, and today I will be making a Christmas bell centerpiece. Now, I created a swag with 3 bells from the Dollar Tree a couple of days ago, and I noticed some of the comments. Some of you have these bells and you didn't know what to do with them. A couple have maybe just 1 or 2, and you thought maybe you'd run out and grab some more so that you can create that. Now, I did respond and say that you could just make a one piece of garland to create that swag. You didn't have to do it in 3s. So anyway, I thought of an idea because I did this some years ago. I had to create some centerpiece for my church. We had to get together, and I volunteered to do the centerpieces, and I needed to do something inexpensive because I was going to provide this for our little group dinner. So I grabbed these bells from the Dollar Tree, and I'll show you the bell. This is the bell. This is one of the bells that I grabbed at that time. This has more of an antique gold finish. The one that I grabbed and did the swag with had a brighter gold, and I don't recall if I saw both finishes at the Dollar Tree, but regardless, they had them in silver, they had them in red, whatever color you can find. If you like that, go ahead and grab yourself some. Now, if you need to do some last minute centerpieces and you can't spend a lot of money like I did then, this will be a great idea for you, and you can either create 1, you can create 2, you can create 10, however many you need. Okay, so let me tell you what you're going to need. Besides 1 bell, at least 1, so you can create at least 1 centerpiece, you're going to need a charger or a plate, and you can choose whatever you want. I happen to have this black charger, and I'm going to use it. It's the only one that I have. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I was planning on going back to get some more, but I ended up finding some really cheap ones in silver at my grocery store. So I've got this one black charger kind of roaming around, so I'm going to use it for this particular centerpiece. I'm going to be using some scrap pieces of garland. Now, this is the garland that I have recently been purchasing from Hobby Lobby, but I'm looking in my stuff, and I have tons of pieces of leftover garlands that I've used here and there to poke in different places in my home while I decorate for Christmas. So I'm going to repurpose those pieces. I'm going to recycle them. I've already fluffed them up a little bit, and I had more than this, but I grabbed these 2 because I wasn't sure if I wanted to double it up. So that's going to be up to you and how much you want to use. Okay, I also have this little bush. I've been purchasing these little bushes from the Dollar Tree. They're only $1, and this one had all these little berries, and I thought this would be cute to put into this arrangement. I also have some leftover little berry picks that I got from Hobby Lobby. Grab anything that you want. I'm going to be using also the same ribbon that I've been using in other smaller arrangements, which is this plaid, and it has a black line going through it, and it's got the gold, so it'll tie all in. You choose the ribbon that you would like to use. Now, I've got some other little decorative items here. I've got a couple of little ornaments, and I'll show you those as we go along because they're not intended to be used in the centerpiece unless you want to add more to it. I've also got my hot glue gun, glue sticks, wire cutter scissors, and a piece of chenille stem or floral wire to tie up my bows. Okay, so let's get to crafting. All right, I've got my supplies here. The first thing I want to do is I want to prepare everything. So I'm going to take off all my labels and cut up all of my little stems from this bush so that I can have my little pieces ready. And because I'm not going to be using the long pieces of stem, I'm going to cut them short, about 1 inch or so beyond the leaf. So there you can see that. I haven't cut it very much. Okay, and then the rest of this I can just throw it away. And we're going to push those aside. All right, and then I've got my little picks here. I'm going to take off the tags. And I'm going to use this as a piece like that all together. So I'm not going to cut them up separately like I have been doing in other crafts. What I am going to do is I am going to cut the little stems off of them because I don't need that length on there. Because I am going to be using my hot glue gun, making sure it's plugged in. And it's got glue. Yes, it does. All right. So that's prepared. And I went ahead and I got this prepared earlier because this is, you know, getting pretty old. This garland is getting pretty old, but it's still good. And I wanted to make sure that it did look good. So I did some little bit of fluffing up and I decided that, yes, I do like the way it looks. So what I want to do is because they're just little scraps and I have these two pieces, I wanted to make sure that they were going to go around my bell. And yes, they do fit around my belt. There is one more item that I forgot to mention that you could use in here, and that is a battery operated candle or a tea light. So I will be grabbing that in a minute when I'm done doing the decorating so that you can see how that's going to look. I should have said it is a lighted bell centerpiece. Okay, this seems to be enough to go around. And I don't want to double it up because if I'm looking at it, I don't want to cover up my belt too much. So I'm only going to be using one piece of this garland. And of course, this is all going to go on my charger here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the little wreath. And all we're going to do is just grab the two ends and tie two of the little pine leaves together. Okay, in order to make this not so fluffy and hide my belt, I'm going to place this on top of it rather than doing this. Okay, so you have your choice. You can do that or you can put it on top. Okay, you can just rest it on top. Now you could, if you wanted to, maybe fluff this a little more, you know, make it look a little fuller is what I wanted to say. You could take these little ends and then curl them down, curl them and so forth, and just do that all the way around, and you'll get like a little bit of a fuller effect on your little wreath and your little, we're just going to call it a little ring. Okay, you can do that instead of them sticking up all over the place. Now, okay, so I finished curling it up, and as you can see, it looks all nice and tight. It's just a little bit more right here. There we go. And it looks a little bit fuller, so I think that looks really nice. Again, you don't have to curl that up. And I'm going to take these little berry bits, and I'm going to be putting them within the ring. And so I'm going to be using my hot glue gun here. Put a little glue on them. Just slide the little ends in there, making sure they land inside of the greenery and you don't see the little stick. And you can take the little leaves off if you don't like and actually apply them separately if you want to do it that way, or just use them all. Okay, I'm just going to be going around and filling it up. I've gotten 4 of them on there. I could have gotten them a little closer and put another berry in there, but I went ahead and decided that this is good enough for me. So I am going to now put this aside, and I'm going to grab my bell. And my bell is recycled. Like I said, I used this in the centerpieces before, and they already had a bow on here, and they had a little bit of greenery and some berries. But I took them all off because I wanted you to see how I'm going to actually decorate the little bell. So I'm going to take a little bit of the ribbon, and I'm just going to make a just 2-loop bow, just a little tail and 2 little loops, just like a regular bow. And I'll just trim that off just straight for now. I'm going to get a piece of some chenille, and I'm just going to cut a little piece. I only need a little piece, or I could use floral wire, which I prefer to use. But just for the sake of making all this real quick, we're using chenille stems. I'm going to fold these in half, cut them up, so I have these nice little tails on, these little ends on my tail. Okay, let's move that away. We're going to be using the ribbon a little bit more, but we're just going to put it out of the way for now. And I'm just going to put some glue at the top here, and leave that little loop at the top of the bell so that you can use that to insert the little wire into, and then bend it around so it's got a good hold. And then your little ribbon, your little bow is also glued on there. There you go, so you can see that. All right, and I'm gonna take one of these little berry stems. I actually didn't need to cut both of them, but I just happened to have them. So anyway, we're gonna take one of these for one of the bells. Now, you grab some more if you're going to do more bells. Now, if you don't find these little picks, they're only 50 cents because they're half off now. If you don't find these, of course, you can use Dollar Tree items. You can use the same berry. If you only use 4 of them on there, it came with 5. So if you use 4 of them, you'll have one left over and you can put it at the top. But just to be a little different, I decided to use this little pick. Okay, that's it. Let me go ahead and grab the candle so that I can show you the finished product. All right, so I'm back with my candle. This is a battery operated candle. I got this from the Dollar Tree. I just light it up. Can you see that little flickering light in there? It's really nice. There's 2 ways you can use this little candle on here. You could just set it straight on to your plate, which you're gonna do either way, or you can put your little bell right over it and then place the wreath. And there we go. There's a nice little finished little display, okay? Now, what I would like to do is I would prefer, let's lift this up, put our wreath down, and then put down our little bell and just kind of nest it in there and let the little pine leaves, just bend them over a little bit to kind of hold it in place. And there you go, because now the bell is a little bit higher and you can see. Now, if you don't find one of these candles, you can use little tea lights. These will work just fine. This is actually what I used when I created the centerpieces in the first place. Now, when I did the centerpieces, I also didn't have this little wreath on here. I actually put lots of little candies because we put them in the middle of the table so that everybody had little candies and little mints to grab right after their dinner. And of course, it was just like a little favor. Okay, so the other options that I was going to give you to decorate this is you could create a bow, another bow or 2, and I'm just going to do like maybe 4 loops this time, but a little bit bigger loops. So let's do that. And well, you know what? I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to show you a couple of choices here. We're going to just tie this up. We can use the same little chenille stem in the back and wrap it around, you know, one of the pine leaves here. You don't even have to glue it down, okay? You could take this apart if you want, but I've glued this down, so it's up to you what you want to do. Okay, so now we can take our, let's go ahead and cut this little tail. We can take this ribbon, if you have long enough ribbon, you could twirl it, and what you could do is you could loop it and tuck it and loop it and tuck it as you go around. So then you would have that look. And that gives it a more lush look if you prefer a fuller, lusher look on your centerpiece. You could also just cut off this bow. And I kind of like that lush look. What do you think? I'm liking it. Okay, I'm going to cut off the bow and cut off that little tail. And let's go ahead and set this back up nicely. And I'm going to tie the bow back in there without that long tail on it. And put a bow on this side. Just make it look pretty. Okay, there we go. And just put one little bow on your centerpiece. You could add another one over here. Let's go ahead and do that so we can see how that looks like. Okay, now I've put the 2 bows on there and I'm just adjusting my little lamp. And there we go. I keep calling it a little lamp. It's a little bell, but I get actually with a little light in there, it just turned into a little lamp. So you can see that. That's how that looks with just 2 bows on it. Now, let's go ahead and take one of the bows off because I said I had a couple more ornaments here on the side. And I wanted to just give you a couple more ideas which you could do. Boy, I really tied this one on here. Can't take it off. There we go. Okay, so each time I do something to it, I gotta fluff up things again. All right, let's go ahead and just skip that. So I've got these 2 ornaments and I got these from the Dollar Tree. right here. They're really pretty. They have these little pieces of mirror on them, and they're real nice and shiny. So if you like a lot of bling, this is an alternative. Now, you obviously don't have to use this ribbon. You use the ribbon that you like. Use some berries that you like. And if you don't want to use berries, you can use little flowers, little poinsettias in there, or just skip all of that. And instead of the berries or poinsettias, just add some ornaments. Tuck them into your arrangement. Go around, or you could use these type of little bells. You can also find these little balls. These are also from the Dollar Tree. They come in a long tube. I happen to have this one left over. You could also tuck something like this in there or hot glue it into your arrangement. I'm just going to tuck it in for now because I just want to give you the idea that you could put little ornaments in there. Another ornament choice that I have here, and that you might find if you find big ones or small ones. You know, these reindeers are really popular right now, and they're all over the place. You could also place one into your arrangement, hot glue it down, so that gives your arrangement another look. See, another something to look at. So you could have a ball on one side, and you could have something like this on that side. Now, if you think that's too big, you can use a smaller one. But that's just an idea of the things that you can do with this bell to create a centerpiece. You can make it nice and simple, or you can make it really lavish and full. And you know what? I think I'm gonna get that ribbon and wind it around here. And I think I'm gonna like that look. And that's it. That is my Christmas bell centerpiece. And if you want to call it a lighted bell centerpiece, we can call it that. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave some nice comments as you have been doing. Thank you very much. And give me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give you a big old thumbs up for this. And I hope you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. And make sure you share me on your social medias. As always, enjoy.